grand final where he won, you guessed it, a Protoss versus Protoss finals. It was a best of 7 though. Now going into a best of 1. He's 11-4 against Protoss, 19-9 in his total pro league. He's only lost 1 out of his 5 recent games. He's coming off of a 2-game winning streak. He looks insanely favored here.
Definitely does. He looks very confident and comfortable as well in the booth. You can see, we've seen him at times be a bit nervous, but here looking at him, I'm like, oh man, he looks ready to go.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, this guy, he's got a lot to do. 0-4, as you were saying, against Protoss. It's not looking too good in statistics-wise, for sure. So hopefully he brings out something good. Maybe he's carrying something from MLG, you know.
I want to point out that 4 of his 6 losses are in this matchup. So he's obviously a great player in the other matchups to get 8 wins there. So I think that's really important to know. This guy's got a lot of talent. It's tough to have Protoss versus Protoss as your worst matchup in the current state of the balance in the meta and everything that's going on in StarCraft right now. But he's got to face off against one of the best Protoss versus Protoss players in the world. IM's playoff life may be determined here in this game on Outboxer. Let's go into game 3 right now.
Up here in the top left in the red for Jinner Green Wings, the Protoss player. It's $, SOS.
Down here to the bottom right in blue for Incredible Miracle. He's been activated. He is Trap.
You've activated my trap card.
What is that?
That looks like it looks like Kanata is, or rather SOS is Bob Ross here. I thought it was Kanata for a second because it's always about Kanata, but no, it's SOS is Bob Ross, Peyton the Cannon Rush.
And the Korean said, "How's this? It's really easy, right?" Like, so. Interestingly enough, these guys have faced off 6 times in Heart of the Storm. Trap is 4-2.
An impressive lead to have. And on Outboxer, you can see the stats much better for Jinner. Jinner has had a much better run in Pro League overall, though, so not too important to note there. Trap 1-1 here, SOS 3-0, so a good map for him. Most likely why he was chosen here. No proxies, no cheeses. We're going to take it slow here in game number 3.
Got to play it safe. I mean, Trap, he's got to find something. I mean, I'm sure SOS is probably going to be looking for any sort of proxy, any sort of desperate move from this IM player, considering his statistics, considering how he does against Protoss in general.
Yeah, that's the other thing here. If Trap decides to go for a proxy, it would be so predictable. You know, in terms of SOS's mind, he's like, oh, okay, I just got to make sure and play safe, make sure this doesn't happen, and should be okay.
Green Wings sign here. Pretty cool font there. I like that. So, Jinner Green Wing fans are you're getting ready to rival the KT Rolster fan goals.
They really are. We see both players scouting pretty thoroughly here. SOS a bit more so.
Yeah, got to be careful. All you need is 1 win here, and your team gets that great indicator. Bonjour! Must be from France.
I don't know, man.
Or maybe he just wants to say hello to the French fans. One of the two.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just wanted to have a sign that said bonjour.
He could be from, like, Canada or something, you know.
That's possible.
Maybe he really likes the opening scene of Beauty and the Beast. That song where they just keep saying bonjour over and over again.
Oh, I like that song.
Yeah, it's a good song. Could be the case. So second gate goes down here, actually, for Trap. So he's talking about how I think this map is good for 3 gate. He also has a much faster core, notice. Let's see how he wants to spend his Chrono Boost, because this definitely could be a 3 gateway push. Chrono Boost started instantly. Very good lead for him in that regard. And a Sentry is started for SOS. Chrono Boosting his Mothership core. Really want to see the Chrono Boost usage over here back at home. Okay, he's also doing the same. Yeah, I think it's possibly because there's an SOS probe in his base, too. He doesn't want to broadcast what he's doing, if he is, in fact, going for that type of push.
Yeah, I mean, we usually see kind of like the workers zoned out by the Mothership by a Sentry or Stalker.
Oh, he tries to sneak in. Oh, this is too obvious now. Oh, this is so bad for Trap. He was hoping he could get an in-base pylon up.
Yeah, or at least getting a good scout off, which would have really helped a lot, too, considering it is a Twilight.
Well, I think Council now, let's just continue the consideration since no tech has been added here for Trap. He is adding 2 Stalkers right now. If, in fact, it is Blink, that could be really good for Trap because that takes a long time to ramp up. If it's DT, all he has to do is defend and he wins the game. Chronobus being used on these Stalkers, so he definitely wants to directly pressure here. He needs to keep that probe alive, though. He cannot lose that.
But he is dragging the Stalker out of position. He's got his own Stalker coming behind it. Could actually force a fight here. Oh, it takes the first shot.
Wow. Oh, no, this is not good. He's mismicroed this, and now he's losing so many hit points. Shields will regenerate, but it's going to take some time.
Actually, not the worst, only losing 3 hit points, but it could have been so bad. He's got SOS being very smart. He backs off because he knows 2 more are on the way. He's actually going to add a Nexus here.
So he's added sentries. I think he's realized, especially when his probe got scouted like that whatever he had planned originally is not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean,
a bit of damage here.
Bit of damage. Doesn't want to get force fielded in. But I mean, at the same time, like we have SOS going for Blink Stalkers here, and all we have so far is Gateway Tech for Trap. Going into a very late Robo, but I mean, I think this is like one of the times that Blink Stalkers could actually do some real damage here.
Yeah. Very, very greedy Nexus build here based on what he had, and those sentries aren't going to be too useful. The 2 Stalkers he warps in right now are going to be somewhat helpful, obviously in the defense, but he really needs those Immortals, and they're a long way off. Blink and these Warp-Ins are lining up so nicely for SOS to punish here, and oh my god, he's even going to do this with Void Rays. This is so scary. The Void Rays will target down those Immortals in no time.
Yeah, it's actually amazing how late this Stargate is, but it makes a lot of sense considering what he scouted. Oh,
Blink not done yet. Blink not done. He gets a Stalker. Wow. Very, very nice there.
Every Stalker counts so much right now.
Let's see.
Could do a bit of damage. Could force out like a Photon Overcharge, which I think would be his main goal at this point.
Absolutely.
Wants to get rid of that energy so his air units can kind of do a lot more damage when they come in.
Nice pick off on that sentry. That's so huge too. But I really like Trap's patience here. He knows exactly what's going on. He's like, I'm not going to use this. I will not. Not going to commit to that. It's actually an Oracle. Really surprised by this. So this could do some extra damage, but it may actually just be to kill probes in the main while he attacks at the front.
Forces out the Photon Overcharge so he can just fly to the main now and have a kind of a field day with the probes in the main. I mean, we do see an Immortal out, so the Blink Stalkers have to be quite careful at this point.
I'm actually really, really liking Trap's position here with the Oracles coming out. I think if he's just safe and cautious, don't have too many problems. Love that micro. Leave the Immortal at the front. Move everything else back.
Very nicely done. Here's the next part of this push. How much damage is this Oracle going to do? Is it going to pull Trap's army out of position? Trap, again, has no idea this is on the way.
Yeah. It really, as long as he keeps the presence of the Stalkers at the natural, like, he's going to do so much damage.
Oh, and he's attacking both sides. Baits the army back, and here's the Oracle in the main. Starts to get a ton of kills.
Instant reaction here by Trap. So far, I think about 5 kills. 5 kills here on this Oracle. Forces it away with the Overcharge, but now there's no Overcharge here. But he's got 2 Immortals. I think he should be fine. Yeah. I actually think this is basically over.
Wow, we see double expansion from SOS
He has to, basically, at this point, with where his tech is at. And what's most interesting to me is that Trap goes for his own counter blink, almost as if he wants to just do it attack with his own Stalkers and Immortals to try to end the game.
He could very well do it at this point.
Especially with SOS being so greedy with the third base.
Absolutely. Looking for something here. Finds another kill. Might lose it, though.
Oh, so low.
And
I mean, worth it though to trade those hit points for even 1 kill. He needs it.
I don't see SOS keeping Trap in his base for this long though. For that third base to actually do anything, because I mean at this point, Trap is already making the units he wants to attack. He's making Immortals. He's making Stalkers. He's upgrading Blink, and from here we could definitely see a timing.
Yeah, I mean I think he has to do a timing. You know, with the Blink coming out here, it's not going to be for any harass, right? He's very serious about this, and that's part of that contain you were talking about, Moonglade. If he has his own Blink, then the contain just ends.
Yeah.
It's no more just, oh, I'll blink away. It's like, ha, I'm blinking with you, man. I'm with you all the way.
Very, very soft contain here.
Wow, good scout here.
Oh, scouts it with the Immortal, I believe. But he's out of position completely.
Oh, and this Mothership Core is dead meat, man. 1 more shot, and he's going to be able to blink out here. Nice snipe there by SOS.
Yep. And a lot of Stalkers coming out here. He's going to kill the Stargate pylon. Probably just going to leave the Stargate. Doesn't really need to kill that. Doesn't have time to worry about that right now. Stalkers are desperately coming over here to defend right now. 5 gates and charge almost done, but they're not ready yet to defend this third base. He may just have to sack the base and try to hold it in the natural. Let's see. He's getting a warp in here from the side, flanking a little bit. Nexus Cannon goes down here. I think he should fight a different location. He's a blink away.
And these Stalkers over here very, very split away from the rest of the army, and they're going to try to blink away, but the Stalkers of SOS also have blink. But SOS backs off.
And he can actually rotate to the natural at this point, considering the Photonnova charge is at the third base. He has got a superior army composition. He can actually take a good fight. But, I mean, charge is finished now, which is going to be the biggest problem.
Well, here we go. Stalker's taking some damage. Great force hits going down from both sides. Those Immortals are everything right now. Zealot's stuck at the back. He may want to blink his Stalkers a little bit here. SOS in retreat towards that Nexus, toward his warp-in point. Guardian Shield still survives here. That Sentry almost picked off, but not quite. Pylon will go down here, and he's starting to warp in additional pylons right now, knowing that he needs more units right away. Nexus Cannon goes down here again. The Immortal gets trapped.
Nice snipe there on that one Immortal. Gets him in really close, and he baits out that overcharge, and Trap being so patient right now. He's just here right in the middle, trying to cut off both of these Nexuses. But here, SOS goes for a big blink forward. He's going for the attacking snipes. Both of these Immortals down really, really quickly.
Yep, charge is done for him here. Targets those Immortals down, but one more Immortal comes. He blinks to the side here, blinks to safety behind his Zealots. The Sentries are gone here. That one Immortal, is it enough? I'm not so sure. There's so many Warpins here, and that third Nexus is mining. You know, he's at 45 probes at 39 on 3-base saturation, and Trap is just going to walk home and base his entire victory here of whether or not this Dark Shrine works out for him. He knows his opponent doesn't have any detection. There's no Stargate, or there's no more Oracle. There's no Observer on the map, and his Stargate is unpowered. So, you know, this is a big risk, but it could be what wins him the game. The Robo has started now. He needs to defend this attack that's coming across the map, however. See if he can do it. He needs to drop some forces. He doesn't have enough energy, does he? Doesn't look like it.
Enough for one. And he at least pushes the army of SOS back. Here are the first two DTs.
Okay, this is everything. If he can snipe that Robo, we are going to have a crazy game on our hands. Robo is right here, very exposed. He starts a forge as well, but it's on the same pylon. All he has to do is target the pylon. Does he see? He sees it's a Robo, but does not decide to target. Decides to go for probes instead. You know, not a terrible choice here either.
He's going to get a lot of probe damage done here, of course, but how much is it going to be worth it instead of getting the Robo down? He is getting a ton of kills right now.
He's forced the entire army back, but that's useless because the army can't do anything. And now he's just going to start picking off units.
Yeah, this is completely game-changing. His economy's in shambles now, losing so many workers, and this is definitely getting trapped way back into the game. And from this, looks like he's actually going to do another timing.
He's delaying so much mining time right now. That's the big thing here. He's got a huge army right now trapped. He's going to go to this third base.
Yep, should be able to pick this base off. Arguably should have been doing this earlier, but you know what? He's going to knock this down in no time with all that bonus damage to armor. Giving the DT over here as well. Now what's he going to do after he gets the Nexus? Will he turn and fight? Looks like he will, but there's a lot of SOS here. No detection still for that DT at the back. Zealots at the front tanking a little bit. That Archon doing a lot of damage. It looks like SOS might have too much. The Stalkers starting to kite back, but those DTs cannot be ignored. He's doing so much with them there at the back. Continue to kite his Stalkers. IM's playoff life is on the line here. More damage being done by these DTs. He's killing so many of these units right now.
He's finally got the Observer, and Trap identifies this. He is going to back off, but very, very nicely done. He's going to get another DT in here at the natural.
No cannons.
No cannons.
Nothing. Good warp in here, though. Blocks him off, and he will get targeted down. Wow. What a crazy game we're watching right now. 47 probes now for Trap versus 37 for SOS. He starts his own third base. The SOS third is down. He's going to come over here and make sure it does not come back up.
And I mean, look at the supplies. They're still very even despite all this, considering Trap took that bad fight at the third base. And here, this is another bad position for Trap, I feel.
Yeah, I think so too. He does not have the army to fight this. That Archon is helping him out a lot, but he needs to blink away from here. Tries to save the Archon, tries to do a little bit more extra damage. He's trying to pick those Stalkers off as well. He escapes narrowly here.
So incredibly close. If you look at the supplies, it looks like Trap's ahead, but most of that is in probes. He is going to get that third base, and it's going to be very good for him in about 5 minutes, but not right there in that fight. He has to back off there.
Yeah, he backs off, but he's got, you know, enough space between him and SOS, whereas SOS now has to make a very awkward and difficult decision. Do I just go and try to kill him here, or do I take my own third? It looks like he's at the very least going to move out and try to force a cancel on the third base of Trap. Trap's trying to get +1 here, something that SOS has not started yet on that forge. And his bases are still a little bit exposed to DT harass. We'll have to see how that comes into play. He's got one Observer there at the natural, but he could be attacked, of course, by a Warp Prism.
Yeah, and I feel like considering the situation, considering the economy, and this third base up and running with an even army, Trap is in such a lead at this point. I don't know how SOS is actually going to come back unless he finds a fight very, very soon to deal with that third base.
He needs a really good fight. That's very well said. He needs a big fight here, and I mean, I guess he could try to take a third base behind it, but it's like it's like playing a losing battle if you're going to go for that.
It's too late. He has to get something done here. And I mean, Trap at this point is going to get further and further ahead with this economy. He's making the right composition now, Immortals, Archons, to deal with this composition of SOSs. And it's just a matter of time. The timer is running out for SOS.
Yeah, in fact, it may already be out, man. He's starting to move across the map, but army supply he has right now is only 4 up right now. That's just 2 Zealots more he could warp in.
And he's attacking into a +1 that Trap is going to have right when this attack hits.
Yep. You know, let's see if his Mothership Core is in position ready to work out for him as well, because that's going to be important. The cannon will help out so much. Or Time Warp, so whatever he chooses to use. The Zealot count overwhelming for SOS. That's the one advantage he has here. That's really what he's going to try to bank this on.
And only 1 Archon here for Trap. He needs, I feel, a little bit more Archons here. He's trying to make a lot of Zealots and try to get his own charge as well, but he's going to need something to deal with that huge number of Zealots.
This fight is still anyone's to take. 1 Zealot alone will go over here and harass a little bit. Okay, SOS says it's time to go, and he's walking right into a concave with a beautiful Time Warp here. The Immortals fighting Zealots only. There's such an overwhelming amount of Zealots here for SOS. He has charge. The second Time Warp goes down, and SOS may have what it takes here. His army is so huge, and he's targeting down those Immortals. The DT is warped in here to help defend, but there is detection. And this is looking tough right now for Trap. He's losing so many of his units.
That was just that Time Warp was just so huge that the Zealots of Trap just got trapped behind all of the rest of his army. And now he has lost his entire army. He's losing all the mining at the third base. This may just be it.
I think it is, man.
One thing to notice is that Trap did snipe the Observer as a last-ditch effort. So these Immortals, these DTs are forcing him back. But look at the supply here.
All he needs to do is get the Observer ready, which he has now. Good reaction there by Trap to pull those DTs back. They were his lifeline earlier. They're his lifeline again. He needs to get something ready to snipe that Observer. He cannot lose his own. This is his only chance. This whole game is banking on those DTs right now. Brings his Observer away. A few more Archons here, actually. He's just going to turn those DTs into Archons, but that may just be a surrender button, essentially, for him right now, because I feel like if he does that, he's got no way to come back in this game. He's trapped here. He's contained. And just too many Zealots here.
Too many Zealots. The Archons are trying to fight for their lives. Very nice micro out of SOS as well to pull those back. And now even fighting with probes. GG goes down.
Unbelievable game.
That was an insanely good game. Excellent game, back and forth. And super duper control there by SOS. Also knowing exactly what he needed to do at all moments. The DTs gave him a bit of a scare. You know, I feel like he might have actually lost the game had Trap targeted down that pylon and stopped the Robo, stopped cannons from going up. Whether the choice of detection would he have had, he would have had none. Yep. I feel like that was a clutch mistake. He even clicked on it to confirm that it was a Robo, but I think he was nervous in that moment. He was like, I just don't know. I got to kill something. I got to do this right now. This is my chance.
Well, I think, like, even though he chose to kill probes, and he killed a lot of them, that bad fight at the third base really, like, brought SOS back into it, because they evened on supply. He got his economy kind of evened out, and I feel like Trap just made the wrong composition to really deal with mass Zealots, especially. He had like too many Immortals, not enough Archons, not enough Zealots of his own, and it just turned out to be a bad fight, a bad army composition versus just pretty much pure Zealot Stalker.
Yeah. He knew he had that one army advantage. That's what SOS knew. He knew that was his only advantage. That was his only hope, and he utilized it. His Zealot count, you know, might not have worked out so well without those Time Warps. With the Time Warps, the Zealot just becomes so much more useful.
That was a really good point. I mean, he dropped like 2 amazing Time Warps on that whole army, especially the first one. That caught so many of the Zealots to Trap, and he was just able to surround and get a huge position from there. I'm not sure where the Mothership Core of Trap was at that time. I think it was at the back. It may have just been remade or something, because I didn't see it use anything.
That's the impression I got. Like, he just flew in and like nothing happened, no photo overcharge or anything. So, yeah, I was wondering if they got picked off at some point.
Well, here are our results. True takes out Ruin, Maru takes out Biel, and then SOS is able to take out Trap. A 3-0 victory here for Jin Air. And with that, of course, they will take that 4th place spot. We'll take a look at that a little bit later.
Bit disappointing for IM fans. They were so close to making it into their first playoffs, but just barely does not make it.
And here's Jin Air in 4th with a +5 indicator. And where they stay, well, it depends a lot on Samsung.
Yep. Samsung Galaxy Con loses at all, they will drop into 4th place, and Dinner Gamers will get that 3rd place position.
This is true. So Incredible Miracle with this does finish in 6th place down there with a -5, and we will not have a tiebreaker with KT Wilster.
Other thing to note is that Samsung, if they do win, of course, they will go ahead of CJ Andis, and CJ Andis will drop into 3rd place.
Yep. So Samsung versus SKT is everything for them. And we're going to have that match here just